Hello. In this tutorial, we are going over how to G-pull in the A-26B. G-pulling is one of the most effective ways to evade a radar-guided missile in VTOL VR. A G-pull is when you turn a tighter radius than the incoming missile, causing it to be unable to intercept you. There are 4 important variables to take in consideration when G-pulling: the speed difference between you and the missile, your aspect to the missile, the time in which you pull, and of course, how many Gs you need to pull. The first step is to ensure that your G limiter is off in the bottom left. Then, make sure you're going at least 420 knots, the faster the better. Then, you want to wait until the outside of the M is at the inside of your crosshair and pull 10 to 12 Gs towards the missile. This method works for any missiles that are in front of you from about your 10 to your 2 o'clock. If the missile is very slow, you may need to pull a little bit later, and if the missile is fast, you may need to pull it sooner. The A-26B needs to pull around 10 Gs for AIM-120 Charlies and about 11 Gs for AIM-120 Deltas. You can pull more Gs briefly to snap pull, but pulling more than 13 Gs for more than a few seconds will risk damage to your plane and weapons. This graph is a rough representation of that. Side aspect G-pulls on your 3 or 9 o'clock. You wait until the M is a little bit closer, and then you pull directly up or directly down. Here is a few more examples.
Autopilot disengaged. Missile launch. Over T. Missile launch.
Rear aspect G-pulls are very difficult. You wait until the M almost eclipses your crosshair and then pull. I recommend dipping down a little bit before you pull the missile, because it increases the angle that it has to pull to meet you. Dodging multiple missiles requires you to be adaptive. If they fire all the missiles together, you can dodge them with a single pull. If they are tightly spaced together, you'll have to do a continuous pull. And if there's some spacing between them, you may be able to pull in between each missile. There is no one best method though, so you just have to find what works best for the moment. It's worth noting that all your controls still work after you blacked out, so you can still keep pulling even after you've G-locked. For Fox 1s, wait until you can hear the MWS, and wait for the audio to loop. When you hear that extra long tone, that's when you start your 8G pull to dodge the first missile. Mind you, this only works for the first missile. If there's multiple missiles back to back, you'll have to continue pulling 8 Gs or find spacing between them. AIM-54 Phoenixes, carried by the EF-24G, are large, fast missiles with a large proximity fuse. You need to start your pull earlier, and you can afford to pull less Gs. If you pull at the normal timing, the proximity fuse will explode and kill you. The EF-24 can only fire these missiles if it has its radar on, or they fired the Mad Dog. Pay close attention to your MWS, as well as your RWR, to effectively dodge both Fox 1s and Fox 3s placed together. You have to be very careful because Fox 1's space between Fox 3s can be hidden and can surprise you, as the MWS can be masked by a Fox 3. The MWS will always go after the closest missile. So if you see the MWS separated from the pitbull of the Fox 3 at all, continue pulling until it passes. Clever players will fire Fox 1s from extraordinarily far ranges so that they are smokeless and hard to detect. If they fire multiple, after the first MWS pull, you may have to continue to pull 8Gs until you can positively identify that there are no more Fox 1s in front of you. Once you get to within visual range, you can positively identify the missiles by looking at their smoke trails, and using this in conjunction with your MWS and RWR to find out how to pull.
Missile launch.
High altitude makes the air thinner and the missiles and yourself faster. This makes it to where you have to pull less Gs to effectively dodge the same missiles. It also allows you to have more potential energy as you're diving to convert into kinetic energy, so you have more speed and more missiles that you're able to pull. Being low altitude, you can still pull missiles, however, you don't have that energy to bank in. This can lead to disastrous consequences if they decide to shoot multiple missiles at you.
Missile launch. Shoot. Missile launch. Shoot. Chap, flare, pitbull, chap, flare, over D, chap, flare, over chap, flare, pitbull, chap, flare D, over D, chap, flare, pitbull, chap, flare, missile launch, chap, flare, chap, flare.
Thank you for watching. I would like to give a special shout out to Rabid Troop, Sage, Sup, and 1Octane for helping me make this video. If you have any questions, comments, or suggestions for how to improve gpulling, or anything that I missed, please leave a comment down below. Have a good day.